received a message yesterday that came in on YouTube, and it really got me thinking, especially because I've been spending so much time over the past couple of months trying to develop the ultimate language learning tools that you could use. The message is this, and it's on my Never Miss a Tone. So I'm using my tone assistant tool, and it's where you type a word in and the tone will come up. And this is something that many people have been asking for. But the message says, I'm old. This is too much. Could you make an app with gamification? I'd love to buy, show or say a letter, and I have to write it, and otherwise. Like a simple quiz, I'd like to draw and pronounce the letters per day. I need 5 seconds to find out which tone this was, and when I travel 200 kilometers, all is different? How can people from Isan survive in Bangkok? As I've been building these tools out, I've always been thinking on the premise, if I were to learn these languages that I know again, what tools would give me the optimum bang for my buck? And so I really empathize with his comment. It seems like somebody who really wants to learn the language, and for starters, they don't know even where to start. They say, can you just give me a few a day that I can practice? I can practice writing. And look at this, it takes me 5 seconds to work out what the actual tone is. And you're telling me when I travel 200 kilometers, the tones are going to change? Well, yes and no. Standard Thai is based on Central Thai. And so what we speak in Bangkok is this Central Thai. So it's a version of what was spoken in Bangkok originally about couple of hundred years ago. And the great thing about Thailand is that almost all people throughout the country speak Standard Thai. However, once you get down to it, in each province, in each town, in each area, they have their own versions of the language. They have their own dialects of Thai, and the tones completely change. So you have your choice. You can speak Standard Thai, but the reason I've been putting these tools out is if anybody actually does want to learn the local language, or if someone already speaks a dialect and they want to change to another or get better at their Standard Thai, well, then they can use these tools to get their tones on point. But then it comes to the point of gamifying language learning. And what does that actually mean? Because for me, the ultimate fun in learning a language, and I think it's one of the reasons why I can learn languages so fast and so well, is because my brain is on fire. It's literally like a computer game in there when I'm learning a language, and patterns are being made and things are being linked, and I'm jumping across to this and that and wiring everything together as I learn the language. And that's the fun of it. It's the dopamine hits for me that I get from my own driving, my own learning of learning the language. And that's why I put these tools together. But I realize when I see this, some people, they really don't know where to start. And so I'm looking for now a middle ground. Now that I have the tools done, I have the perfect platform to be able to gamify this now. Now you can see I'm pretty excited about language. If you want to catch this excitement with your language learning, I'm running my face-to-face Minecraft session starting this Saturday for 4 weeks straight. Let's see what happens after this, because I actually really love running these workshops. But we're doing it for 4 weeks initially. And so if you're subscribed to Minecraft for the whole year, you're eligible to partake in these sessions. Now, if you're not in Bangkok, well, you can come in online. Or if you are in Bangkok, you can actually come and meet me. But I hope in that time I can work with you to really get you on fire about learning your language. And I'll help you, just as I do with militaries and other people learning languages around the region where language is critical for their job. I can help you get on top of your language. I can help you fix your prosody, your articulation, your tones, whatever it is that you need. We can work together and help you get on a track where you're going to be able to master those things that you need to master, and hopefully get the enthusiasm that you need to be able to get over those plateaus. So if you haven't done it yet, come and subscribe to Minecraft, and we'll be meeting this Saturday in Bangkok if you're in Bangkok, or online you can come in and join in live with the session as well. So back to gamification of language, and maybe this is old school gamification of language, but these tools that I've built can really give you a buzz and can send your brain on some amazing tangents, all of which are great for language learning. So let's start with something simple. I'm here in ChatGPT now. I'm using 4.0, and I'm going to say, write a short story in colloquial Thai in the voice of a young 21-year-old guy who just did his first ski holiday to Niseko, Japan, and is now just arriving back in Bangkok, telling his friends. The reason I'm doing this is because I chose a 21-year-old guy is because I'm wanting to look at the pronouns that he would use if he's talking to different people. He's speaking with his friends, and so we want to see what kind of language would be used then. And we're talking about traveling, and so a lot of learners will be traveling to Bangkok or traveling out there. So I've included a few themes there that will give you vocabulary that you'll be able to use. And so when I do this, okay, so this story has started Phuoc Mung, and straight off they've used really colloquial language. And so for the purposes of this clip, let me just tidy it up a bit. Can you summarize this in one paragraph in the voice of an 8-year-old Thai? Okay, so that's toned it down a bit, and it's great. We've just got a great little sample of language, but it's still quite colloquial. Phuoc pp. So this is nice, and this is at a good level if you're learning Thai that you can start to work, and you're still using normal pronouns. Now soon I'll be integrating this into my site. I have this news language tutor, so you can put your API key if you have one in there, and it will do this all for you automatically. But for the time being, let's just go to multilingual word spacer. And so I'll clear this text out and I'll paste it in here. Now, there's a few things that happen here. You'll see it's all just normal Thai text there. You can change your font size here up and down. This box isn't the main one we're concerned with. What we're concerned with down here, and I've let it space the text for you. And so you can see here, you can actually change the different fonts. So if you want to see it in a handwriting font, you can change it to that. You can scale the font size up and down of this as well, which is pretty cool. And you can also change the spacing between words. And so this is the first thing to start getting you reading. And so the first thing I would do in reading this, well, I actually want to know what it's talking about. So at least I've got some guard posts, some guides as to where this text is going. And so I've put these buttons here, open in Google Translate, and you've got them down here as well. You can open either. If you want to open in Google Translate with the spaces, you can, and it will still work well. So let's click that. And so here we have our Google Translate. And so my brothers and I came back from Japan, so Phuoc pp ku. So this English that we see here really doesn't do the Thai justice, because these are really great pronouns that you probably won't learn in any Thai school. Phuoc pp ku kap ma jakญี่ปุ่นแล้ว So PP, my older brothers and sisters, I've just arrived back from Japan. And so you can read that there. My brothers and I came back from Japan. We went skiing for the first time in Niseko. It was so much fun, but so cold. We went up to the mountain. I saw white snow like on the postcards. When we first started skiing, we fell down, but later on we got better and could go with the wind. The most fun thing was there was an ice bar at night. Everything was frozen, including the glasses. The bar was so cool. Coming back to Thailand, I really miss our chicken rice and hot sun. I'll see you later and tell you more. Okay, so that's pretty good. And this is really great normal Thai. Before ChatGPT, it was so hard to find these specimens, but if you give it the right prompts, you can get awesome language specimens. But let's come back here now to my tool. And so what has it done? It's actually arranged a vocabulary list for you. So I just bumped the font size up a bit, but have a look here. So you can actually arrange these A to Z. You can show numbering or not show. So this is if you're going to be copying it into a spreadsheet as you're keeping your vocabulary, which I highly recommend. Any new vocab you get, you can keep them in a spreadsheet for you. And so let's go back to occurrence. So phuoc. Now, what have I got here? What does phuoc mean? If I wanted to pull the Google Translate in here, I could put my API key, but this is going to start costing a lot of money and I want to make these tools free for you. So I did an easy option. So you can use this in conjunction with Google Translate and even listen to it like this. Okay, so that's the word phuoc. But you can also now come in here and click my tone assist. And so what happens when you click tone assist is you'll get the current word in here and it will show you the tone. So phuoc. So right now we're triangulating the meaning, the spelling. We know the story from here, and so it's in context. We're able to hear it if we want by clicking in there. And you can actually see the tone here. Not only that, you can click through the different fonts and you can see the fonts rendering in here. So if you want to see how this is rendered outside of a normal print font, you can use this. This is what my gamification is. I'm gaming everything about the language that I might encounter and starting to join the dots from the get-go. Now we see down here, why is this falling tone? It's a low class, long dead. So for anyone who's learned even a little bit of Thai, you know that the low class refers to whatever this first consonant is when we're spelling a word. So in order to see that first consonant, okay, well, let's then go to my compass, my consonant compass. And we're coming down, where is that letter? So another game would be, can I find this letter? This letter, what does it look like? It looks like this, paw pan. Okay, and so now I've got this paw pan down here. I've got the initial IPA, so the initial sound of it, and I can see in the classes, well, I saw this was a low class. Which other letters are low class? When I click on low class, I see all my low class here. This has all come from just looking at this one word, puok. I'm going into meanings, I'm going into sounds, I'm going into spelling, I'm going into classes. So I can actually click here, okay, let me try and write this letter. And so you can open up there. If you're on a mobile, this works beautifully. And so just practice tracing this around, and you can click it out and practice again tracing this around. Now, when I said I'll be adding gamification now, I can actually start to automate these things and give you points and stuff if you want, or say, write this 3 times and you've done the activity. I have all the tools in place to be able to build this gamification in now. But I'm kind of in two minds about this, because for me, the beauty about when I'm learning the language is all the tangents that I can go on and come in and link them in together. If you just rely on me to give you one exercise, yeah, you might be able to do a structured way through it, but you might be missing out on some stuff that you could find out a lot faster and easier that I didn't think to give you. So I would say, if I ever do put these kinds of activities out for you to do them, but don't just rely on them. Really go out of the box and try and do things yourself. You can change the fonts, and you can start trying to write a handwriting font from the get-go. And you can also see other fonts. So this is like the headless font that you will see. It looks like a W, but it's actually paw pan. So you can start getting used to these kinds of things from the get-go with these tools and have a lot of fun with them. And so I'll just close that back up now. And so going back to my multilingual word space, or I look at then this word in context. And so PP, let's go to the next word. So PP, I can open from here in the tone assistant. What does PP mean first? Well, I can open in Google Translate PP, brothers and sisters. Okay, I know that this is brothers and sisters. How do I say it? PP. Okay, I click on there. I can hear how it's said. So put PP, and you can see down here, this will automatically come up in here too. So I can click here on the tone assistant, or once I've clicked there, it's yellow, I can click here and you'll see PP come up. I don't need this double marker here, so I can take this away. So I know this is a low class again. It's this same paw pan that we had in the consonant compass, this paw pan here. So if we come back in here and we see P, interesting. So what happens? I can see a tone marker up there and it says that this is a may egg. What if I delete that? What would it be? P, 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 P. For me, this is a game. P, P. What if I change the tone marker to a meito? P, 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 P. What if I wanted to give this a rising tone? Is there any way that I can do it? And this is where you start to think, and your mind again is creating these links. Well, I'm thinking, where's a rising tone? The only place there is a rising tone there is high class. So there are two ways I could make things high class. I can either put a haw in front of it. Now, you won't know this to start with. And you can see that this is one way. Now, this is not a Thai word, but that's one way of turning something into a high class. Or there's the artificial tone marker, mai chatawa, and that will give it there. Oh, that's interesting that it came out like that. But that will actually give it its rising tone as well. It's the equivalent of making it this high class rising tone. So through playing with this game of putting tones on, taking them away, you can have a lot of fun. And so then if you come back to your story here, you can just go through that first sentence. So what was the first sentence we had? พวกพี่ๆกูกลับมาจากญี่ปุ่นแล้ว So this word here, กลับมาจากญี่ปุ่นแล้ว. If I just want to take this, I can actually drop just this sentence in now. กลับมาจากญี่ปุ่น and see what that means. Okay, so back from Japan. And so one lesson in a day might be just looking at this portion of the sentence. And I've got how many words? 5 words. กลับ. What does กลับ mean? กลับ means to go back or to return. Okay, great. So let's have a look. How would we write it? กลับ. All right, if I can click down here, let me practice writing it. I can shrink this down and make it come into there. I'm going to practice writing it out. So maybe you're just going to take that and write it for the next 10 minutes. Just practice it until you can do it. You trace it first and you're going over these. Okay, that looks good. Now I want to see if I can remember how to write it. And just click this button here and bang, it's hidden. So I can practice seeing if I'm writing this. And so I'm going to try and remember what I just wrote while the template was there. Okay, so I think that's klap. Let's see, does it look the same? And I've put this control in here so you can actually move the sample text around, so you can actually do multiple copies or move it from under so you can compare. Yeah, that looks pretty good. This for me is gaming the language, but I get it. You want some controlled games that are going to give you a structure to what you're learning and reward you as you get things right. There definitely is a place for activities like that, but I'd like to say that the language learning, if you really want to be fluent, you're going to have to drive your language learning, and it's you actively discovering these things and linking them together that's really going to build your fluency for you. And if you do want to do that, come and join Mindcraft with me at jacademy.com. We're going to do it together. You're going to get that fire, the excitement to learn, and then these tools that I'm building out are going to be unbelievably useful for you. These are providing the stuff that I spent years trying to find myself, and so I've consolidated them all here, but still put them in a way where you can have your own discovery that's super exciting. Can't wait to see you this Saturday. I'm Stuart J. Raj. I'll see you on the other side.